What is up, guys? Citrus here, and welcome to the Week 7 Spirit Seeker Devlog. And unfortunately, this week, there's not a ton of changes going on the surface or mechanically for this game, but environmentally, much has changed. There is now an entire maze, and it's complete with this little green platform at the very end, and that will actually trigger a you win screen. You can now finally beat the game. And it doesn't take much, you just have to complete the maze right now, but I have a playtest coming up on Monday, so I figured there should at least be some end goal for my players to reach if they're going to play and enjoy the game and hopefully have some feedback for me, because none of you guys have been commenting on the videos. Not cool. But this maze did frankly take quite a while to build, not only because it pretty much quadrupled in size, I think, from the last time I showed this off, but also because I was taking all of the pieces that were already in the maze, and because it was kind of in a prototype phase, I guess, I wasn't sure if I wanted to stick with the 10 by 10 tiles. I'm pretty sure I do now, but they weren't prefabs because I was just like, well, I don't really need to make them prefabs because this is just a prototype, right? We're not going to use this for the end product, right? And it turns out the game is very much going in that direction of using these 10 by 10 tiles, and that means I had to kind of go back and make all of the old pieces, the prefabs for whatever type of tile they were, whether that's like a corner segment or a straight segment or something like that. They all had to become prefabs, and that's basically just so if I make a change to them in the future, whether that's like a texturing thing or something about like how the mesh or colliders are set up, which will need to happen because the enemies can push you into walls right now. I don't know how I'm going to fix that, but they probably want to be prefabs when that happens, because otherwise I'll have to go through and change every single piece individually, which doesn't sound fun, and it certainly wasn't fun to go through and make every single piece a prefab individually, but that was just kind of what had to happen for the long term, and it's finally done. There's finally a whole maze, but that was kind of most of my time, so not much else really got developed. But I did make a little promotional poster to kind of get some attention and get people over to my station for playtesting, because there's tons of projects that'll be showed off at the college here, and so I gotta advertise a little bit. So there was a poster, and I was like, you know what, let's just adapt those things from the poster into the main menu. And that's how I got here with this slightly improved main menu. And one of the great things that took way too long to put into the game, like this should have been done a lot sooner, is the UI will now show you what power-ups you have, assuming they aren't like an instantaneous one. And so the damage buff will kind of come and go based on the cooldown. The sprint is going to be there for as long as you hold onto it and as long as it's active, and then it will finally go away. And then, of course, the double jump was there. As soon as I used it, it went away, so that was gone pretty quick. But one thing you'll also see is there's different kinds of enemies now. There's a little bit of variation. It's not much. There's just these little guys that are pretty fast but pretty weak. There's the big, slow, tanky guys, and then there's just sort of the average guys that I had last week. And their appearance has been slightly updated so you can tell what direction they're facing. And they also have a sword, so it's like, oh, just imagine that when they deal damage, they're hitting you with that. Give me the benefit of the doubt, I'm not an artist. And yeah, so that's kind of all that happened. The power-ups got reworked, so now there's not a ton of them because those kind of all got deleted, and I'll have to repopulate the maze with the new versions that can interact with the UI. But then, yeah, just that slight change to the enemy variation, and yeah, not much else. The maze was super time-consuming, building that by scratch. A lot of people have told me I should just find a way to generate it automatically, but I want absolute control over what's going on with the maze and where those sections for story are going to be eventually. And I know I keep saying story, there's been no story implemented so far. It will happen, I do have it in mind. It's just not something I intend to share just yet because I don't know when it will get developed, and I don't want anyone stealing my intellectual property in the meantime. But yeah, I'm super hyped for this playtest. It'll be great to finally get some feedback. And I know I took that dig at you guys for not commenting and not giving me feedback yourselves in the comments, but I do appreciate even the little bit of support that I do get, whether that's in the form of views, subscribers, likes on the video. It all helps and just gives me that little extra motivation to keep working on this and keep making this content, because it's definitely one of the coolest things I've worked on in a long time. So thank you all for your support. Thank you for tuning in this week. Hope to see you again in the week to follow, and peace out.